Hey everybody, Nerdy Transformed here, and today I have my first Transformers KO review. Today we're reviewing the Alternationman Commander Red Devil, or this is actually an oversized Legends class Starscream from Thrilling 30. So let's take a look at the box first, and yeah, the box is a little messed up, but it came like that in the mail because I had two of these squashed together in one package. You can actually see some Combiner Wars Megatron artwork and some IDW Optimus artwork right here. Just Optimus all around, you know. Then we have some clearly ripped Starscream artwork up here. But yeah, you can see Alternationman Commander. There's no name for the Red Devil. Came from the eBay listing I bought this from. Which, by the way, the eBay listing also had a ton of other words just kind of fit in just to try to get as many people look at the page as possible. Like it had a For Children DS or Children for DS or something like that, you know. Just try to fit in as many popular child-related words as possible. If we take a look at the back, you see you get some artwork of the toy itself, and this is actually a picture of the knockoff because the actual toy, the actual Starscream has a blue nose cone, but the knockoff does not. So, but then again, the knockoff has gray feet, but this shows the blue feet. So maybe the background one's the official toy, and this jet mode here is the knockoff. It's hard to say. You actually do get some instructions here, and it's actually well done instructions since they do highlight the parts that you need to move around. I mean, it's better than some other knockoffs I've seen. And we can see these are also all 6 of the ones I have seen. So we do have Optimus here, who I also have. We have Starscream, we have Megatron and Bumblebee, so the 4 original Thrilling 30 figures. But we also have Combiner Wars Rodimus and Powerglide. I know some people have bought this Powerglide and kind of used them as a masterpiece scale because these are oversized. And we also got IDW Megatron there for some reason. But yeah, that's the box just to get you a good idea of what it looks like and where I got the name Alternationman Commander from. So let's get that out of the way. So we have the figure itself here, and the plastic itself is not bad. It is slightly lower quality. It is lower quality than Hasbro, but it's not awful. Oh, I will admit, when you first get out of the box, all these figures have really nasty feeling plastic, so I would recommend getting an alcohol wipe and going over any figure you buy from them thoroughly, as it does help it not feel so nasty. And as you can see, there is no rubber on this figure. If you've ever messed with any of the Legends classes of the Seeker mold, they usually have a rubber nose tip, rubber feet, as well as the rubber fins, but none of it is rubber here. And because of that, of course, since they use gray plastic on everything, the nose tip is gray, the feet are gray, and the fins are gray. Although they did paint the top fins blue, so it actually has paints in a spot that even the Hasbro version doesn't have, which is pretty nice. And to give you an idea of how big this is, I do not have the original Legend Starscream, but I do have Skywarp, who's the same mold. And you can see he is a much bigger jet, a much bigger figure. If you're curious about how big these guys are, they're somewhere between a Legends and a Deluxe class. Oh, you won't really see that till robot mode, but you can see, yeah, much bigger, much big difference, you know. I would say probably about 1.5 the size, you know. But you see it's definitely ripped right off of this mold right here. I also do have the oversized Optimus, you know, just to give you an idea of how big it is. And just for one more comparison, we'll pull in Blastoff from Combiner Wars. And you can see he's actually bigger than Blastoff even in vehicle mode. Not by much, but he is a tiny bit bigger. Oh, in robot mode, he's a lot smaller. The reason he looks bigger is because the Legends class doesn't really crush in on itself. The robot mode is kind of the same, is actually kind of just left as it is, while Blastoff kind of collapses in on himself. So yeah, it's actually pretty nice. He does actually come with his weapons. Come on. And interestingly enough, the actual pegs, despite these being oversized, the actual pegs are the exact same size as the Legends class. The smaller peg is the same size that it is on this figure, so you can actually swap them around. Oh, interestingly, it's a little too loose putting the knockoff weapon on the Legends class, and it's too tight to put I can't even fit in there really, to put the Legends weapon on the knockoff. But they actually have the exact same peg size, they're just like a couple of millimeters off. Which also means you could use his knockoff weapons on any other figure. Also, from what I've seen, he doesn't come with any weapons or anything from what I've seen in our knockoffs. He does still have his landing gear, though, and as I mentioned, he is still very well painted. He's still got the red going on the sides. He's still got the orange cockpit, the red and white lines going up. He's got the blue paint up here. He's got just enough to break it all up. Honestly, the only thing I would say is missing is I wish a little bit of black paint could have gone in the jets and maybe a little bit of blue on the nose cone. But that's asking a lot for a knockoff, and just having this much is actually a really nice deal, especially when you get the robot mode. So to get the robot mode, it's actually the exact same transformation, but it is a little trickier just because of all the plastic, so stuff doesn't quite go around each other quite as easily. So we're gonna start by taking the arms, unpegging them from the bottom. Oh, and these joints are really tight. Like, they're much tighter than the Legends class figure. We're gonna take it up, just tab it in like that, bring it up, tab it in like that. The transformation joints in particular are extremely tight. Go ahead and rotate the guns down. Come up here, the wheel can fold up that way, which cannot be done on the original. On the original, the wheel can only go backward, it can't go forward like that. So that's kind of interesting. But the wheel, you're going to fold it up, then you're going to just take the nose cone, fold it and collapse it in. Then take the front half of the cockpit, collapse it in to form the chest. Then you're going to come to the back here, and this is kind of tricky because you got to split the legs first. Then kind of bring them down to the side so that way this tab can be free. You see this tab is a little marred from transformation because if you just kind of push it through like normal, it will rub against this other plastic and this plastic will wear away. Go ahead and bring the whole back plate up. Go and snap it in like that and then just press it to the back like so. Take the fins, push them to the back. And now for some reason the feet hinges are extremely tight. Like, it's really hard to get the heel and the foot separated. Man, it's super tight. But once you get them all together, there you have your oversized Starscream, or Red Devil, in his robot mode. Alright, now we got Starscream in robot mode. Let's go get the size comparisons out of the way. Here's the oversized Optimus I have as well, so you can see all the oversized figures are probably going to be about the same height. Here is the Legends Skywarp, so you can see much bigger. Not quite twice his height, but I would say at least about, like I said before, about 1.5 the size of his height. So yeah, it's actually a bit bigger. I should also mention these figures are only about $3.50, and that includes shipping all the way from China. Granted, you're going to be waiting about a month and a half to 2 months for the figure to arrive, but for $3.50, yeah, a little bit better than this thing. And just to show that he's not quite deluxe size, there's Blast Off. You can see when you actually get him in robot mode, they are about somewhere between a Legends and a Deluxe. So, I'm not really sure what to call this. I mean, they are labeled as Commanders, so I guess you consider a Legends Commander, kind of like how there's a Legion Commander. I don't know what we would call this height. It's a small Deluxe, I guess, maybe, but pretty good size, though. I kind of want to get the Bumblebee with the Bumblebee one, because that would probably be a perfect size for Bumblebee, honestly. So, let's get all those guys out of the way. Actually, let's keep Skywarp here for a moment. I didn't really realize how loose this guy's joints were until I started messing with him. Like, these aren't loose, like they're not flopping around at all. But, I mean, it really only takes a finger tap to kind of get anything, you know. So they're not bad loose, but they are loose. This guy's joints are actually really tight. Not like can't move or squeaking tight, but still tight enough that you can really feel the difference. So that's good. I mean, honestly, on these knockoffs, I was expecting extremely loose and floppy, but they're actually really nicely made. Like I said, I don't know how the plastic feels. They actually are very good knockoffs, although they do get marred up pretty easily. Like I said, like you can see how much that's getting torn up at the top there, where the little piece has to move past 2 other pieces. But besides where like pieces have to rub together, he's also really well painted, as you can see. This is actually all blue paint. This is actually done in gray plastic. So this is actually all blue paint all over his hand. He's got some blue on the legs, and if the front part of his chest plate is actually all painted. I think the back part might. No, wait, no, it's gray. So, yeah. Well, I think up here might be. It's hard to tell actually. No, because you can see right there where it's wearing away. So this is all gray plastic that's been painted red. So it's actually painted not just along the back and sides, but all down the front, and it has silver to kind of highlight the chest and the little circles on the inside. And the face is actually really well painted too. Like the helmet's done in black, the face is done in a gunmetal silver, and it's really nice that they actually chose a different silver from the chest. And you can even see a little bit of red for the eyes. So it's actually very nicely painted, and having it in this side is a lot easier to get a good look at that face. It actually does look a little bit different from Skywarp's face. Skywarp's face looks like it's got a little bit different, but it might just be simply seeing it a bit bigger. It might be easier to see. It actually reminds me of a lot of one of those Terracons from Transformers Prime Beast Hunters, the winged one. It actually looks a lot like that one's face. So yeah, there is some differences though. For some reason, his cockpit in his chest does not fold in quite as far. If you see on the Skywarp here, it actually has more of an angle downward, while here it's kind of straight out. It doesn't quite go down all the way. It actually leaves a small gap there too. I'm not sure what's inhibiting that. Maybe it's how the wheel transformed or something, but it doesn't quite go down all the way, so you are left with a big piece of cockpit just sticking out that far. I mean, it was already sticking out kind of far on the original, but now it sticks out a little bit further. Articulation-wise, it's the exact same as the Legends class. You do get a ball joint at the shoulder, ball joint at the elbow. The guns do rotate and can come off the peg. No head, no waist swivel. Do get a ball joint at the leg. No swivel at the under the hip, but you do get a knee joint. And you can use since they are pretty tight, you could use the ankles, kinda. Just gotta balance it right. He really could use an extra swivel or something. That's the one thing that really sucked about the Legends class figure, is that he doesn't have, and they didn't really make improvements here. There's no swivel here, there's no head swivel. Head swivel in converse is kind of crammed in there. It's same to go to the waist, there's not a lot of room. But no leg swivel really does kind of hinder this figure's articulation. But that's not really the knockoff's fault, that's more of Hasbro's fault. So, concerning the original didn't have that either, I can't really dock points for that. So like I said, this is actually a very good knockoff for its price. Like I said, you can get these from China for about $3.50 each. Some of them vary. I've seen some as low as $3.20. I've seen others higher for about $3.70 to $4. But for $3 to $4, you are getting bigger versions of decent figures and at a much cheaper price. I mean, considering something this small is $10 and this is $3. Would not necessarily recommend giving them to your kids, because I don't know what kind of stuff. Like I said, I went over an alcohol wipe all over these two, and still not sure if it's clean per se, so I'm not sure I would recommend giving it to a kid. But if you do want a bigger version of the Legends classes for whatever reason, they are decent. They are decent figures for that bigger size. Just look up probably just look up Transformers Optimus or something, or Transformers Starscream or something. But yeah, oh yeah, and he's gonna be called Red Devil for whatever reason. I have seen different names, but this one in particular I got is Red Devil. So yeah, decent knockoff. Not the best, but not bad either. I do recommend him to collectors, because if you do want like a slightly bigger version, like especially like the Bumblebee and the Power Glide, might be good for like either Masterpiece scale or maybe like an IDW scale. So in that way, I can recommend these figures. So this has been Nerdy Transformed. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you have a good day. Take care.